Welcome to The Explainer. In Jamaica, there's this constant tension, right? On one side, you've got these daily pressures, these forces kind of pushing the nation to its limits. But on the other, there's this incredible ambition that's just pulling it toward the future. Today, we're going to dig into that very push and pull because it tells a fascinating story about a nation in motion.
You know, a new tourism campaign just absolutely nailed it. In Jamaica, you can cool off in the mountains, or you can move them. And that one idea, it just perfectly captures the two sides we're talking about. You've got the challenges that make you want to get away, but then you've got that ambition that gives you the power to overcome anything.
All right, so let's start with those push factors, the pressures you can really feel on the ground. First up, political tension. Not long ago, during a campaign event, shots were fired near a politician's team. Now, thankfully, nobody was hurt. The opposition party, the PNP, suggested it was probably tied to gang conflicts, not a direct political attack. But here's the thing that really stands out. Both parties, almost immediately, came out and condemned the violence. They called for peace. It was this rare moment of unity right in the middle of a really tense time.
And that pressure, it's not just happening up in the political world. It's right down on the streets. Take this robbery in Portmore. I mean, it was brazen, right in the middle of the day. The suspects pretend to be customers, pull out guns, tie up the owner, the whole thing. But here's the part that really sent shockwaves through the community. One of the guys arrested was a dance hall artist. It's just this stark reminder of how crime can touch every single part of society.
Now, the push isn't always coming from inside the country. Sometimes it's an external pressure, this potential barrier that comes down to one pretty daunting number: $15,000. So what in the world is that about? Well, that 15 grand, it's the high end of a proposed U.S. travel bond. The idea is basically to charge visitors from countries with high rates of people overstaying their visas a huge refundable deposit. It's to make sure they leave on time. Now, look, this is not law yet, okay? And we don't even know for sure which countries would be on the list. But for the thousands of Jamaicans who go to the U.S. to see family, for work, for vacation, just the idea of it feels like another wall being built.
Okay. So we've looked at all these forces pushing against the nation. So what happens next? How do you respond to that? Well, you don't just take it. You push back. And that is where we get to the pull. These powerful, ambitious moves that really create forward momentum.
So one of the most direct ways to push back on crime? You modernize your police force. And Jamaica's Constabulary Force, the JCF, just put on a clinic to show everybody what they've been working on. The very first thing they did in their demonstration was straight out of a real-world playbook. The quick response team set up what they call an outer cordon. It's basically step one in any real operation. Lock the place down. Nobody in, nobody out.
So once that perimeter is totally secure, the breach team moves in. But get this, they're not going in blind. They've got drones up above feeding them intel, spotting heat signatures inside a building. After the team gets inside, they send in the canine unit. And what happens? A dog named Tango goes right to a hidden Glock pistol. I mean, it's just a perfect showcase of tech, training, and, well, a very good boy, all working together.
But here's what's really important. The JCF made it so clear. This wasn't for show. The weapons they displayed weren't just props. As they put it, these were tools of death, real weapons they took off the streets before they could hurt anyone else. It's a really powerful way to remind everyone that this isn't a game. It's about saving actual lives.
You know, this whole push and pull thing, it's not just about crime and police tactics. It's literally shaping the population of the country itself. Look at this number, minus 3,500. That's the net change in Jamaica's population in just 1 year. But the real question is, what's driving that number?
Okay, let's break this down, because it's fascinating. You've got two big things happening. Yeah, births are down, but look at that migration number. A net of 8,800 more people left the island than came in. That's the push factor of brain drain right there, in black and white. You've got skilled people looking for opportunities somewhere else.
But for every push, there's a pull, right? And while that brain drain is a real thing, you have to look at the incredible pull of long-term progress. And the numbers here are just, wow. Compared to the 60s, life expectancy is up a whole decade. University education, It went from basically 0 to 16% of the population. Access to water, almost universal. This is the stuff, the quality of life, that convinces people to stay and gets others to come back. And that pull factor. It's also about building for the future. I mean, literally building. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made this really great point recently about the new highway project. He said, look, for most of us, a project only feels real when we see the bulldozers. But the real start, the real pull forward, it happens way before that. It's the initial decision. It's the moment someone says, we're doing this. That's when ambition turns into reality. And it's not just about pouring concrete. That same investment in the future is happening in the ground itself, in farming. At a recent agricultural show, the Prime Minister said something that's a huge deal. Agriculture is becoming organized, recognized, and bankable. Now, think about what that means. It means big money, banks, investors. They're finally looking at farming not just as a tradition, but as a serious, modern, profitable business. So it all comes together in this ultimate pull, which is branding the Jamaican spirit itself. And who better to voice it than Usain Bolt, right? This new tourism campaign just celebrates this whole idea we've been talking about. The message is simple and it's powerful. In Jamaica, you can run in the sand or you can compete on the track. You can lay back or you can lean in. You can cool off in the mountains or you can move them. Which really brings us to the big question, doesn't it? When you look at a country like Jamaica, or really any country for that matter, what tells the truer story? Is it the constant push of all its problems, the crime, the politics, the economic pressures, or is it that determined, undeniable pull of its people to build, to grow, and, well, to move mountains?